Trying to go live. And you can share this too. So we can share it at the same time. Right now, I'm going to share it out here. Go back here. All right, we are live. So welcome everybody. Hello and welcome to Global Kindness TV. I am your host, Karen Palmer, the Mindful Media Mom and the Queen of Global Kindness. And we have an incredible guest today. I'm going to share a little bit about him while I put him on camera here. And this is the amazing Shaun Parry. And he's a seasoned professional singer, dancer, actor with the credits from Broadway and off-Broadway, national and international tours, the Metropolitan Opera, New York Theater Ballet, Martha Graham, and even MTV. He's the founder of Promethean Spark International, a nonprofit organization that does life coaching for impoverished youth worldwide. He is the creator of the Promethean Spark methodology and certification curriculum of life coaching through the arts. Wow. He is the founder and director of the Life Dance Troupe and the first ever dance troupe comprised of youth from leprosy colonies. Mr. Parry is the artistic director for the World Parliament on Spirituality and is the second of 10 children, an uncle to 42 nieces and nephews. Wow, that is pretty amazing. That is quite a wonderful experience that it is that you have in the world. You are one of the most amazing souls I have ever met. So I'm just really, really honored that we have this time together. And, you know, Shaun, I want you to just kind of tell a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to talk about the project that you're involved in. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your nonprofit. That's so fascinating. And maybe a little bit about why you got involved with this project in its, you know, entirety. You've been involved since the very beginning, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you. Karen, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so thrilled to be seeing you again after almost a year.
So exciting.
Yeah, so the last time we connected in person was at the World Parliament on Spirituality last November. So I'm just thrilled to see you again and to connect like this. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I am too.
Yeah. So just a little bit, about the nonprofit organization is called Promethean Spark International, and it's named after the Greek Titan Prometheus, who took one spark from the gods and brought it to the humans and completely changed all of humanity through that one spark. And that difference that he made as he lit that fire and started to use storytelling to lift them out of a condition of ignorance. And they were naked, living in the cold, in the dark, with zero education, just looking forward to death. And he said, that's not right. We need to do something. And so then he started to use storytelling to share with them these ideas of how they could change their lives. And then he started to teach them these different types of things with it. Like he began with, dance and music and these things that they could pick up with their bodies. And then he translated that over and started teaching them mathematics and metallurgy and woodworking. And pretty soon they were doing all kinds of architecture and all these different things. And it spread through all of humanity and completely changed humanity, gave them imagination, creativity, and ambition, so that they came a step closer to the gods. And that's the myth that it's based off of. And we use the arts to do life coaching for extremely impoverished youth. And we just had our 10-year anniversary. So we're a decade old, which is very exciting. And with that, we've touched thousands of lives. So we had people calling in from India and Africa and Kuwait and Mexico and everything at our big anniversary party. So it was exciting to see how much good has been done through the Promethean Spark project, and the methodology that we use to do life coaching for these kids, and every single day working with them, teaching them discipline and focus and goal setting and perseverance, and all these basics that you need to succeed. That who would have taught them that? Their parents didn't know to teach them, so how would they have ever learned that? And so the statistics show that 75 to 93% of the youth in developing countries end up either dropping out or not going to school through the end of secondary education.
Wow.
So,
and Shaun and I are both part of the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative. And we are also partners with We the World and the WeYourChildren.org. So what's so exciting is as we start to collaborate, as we start to co-create, these amazing, amazing children are having more and more opportunities. And the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative is truly about helping to raise the levels of joy, love, kindness, prosperity for our entire planet. So it's really something extraordinary what we're involved in. And I feel so honored. It was such a blessing to be there with you. I felt like it was heaven on earth. I really did. While we were there, I was so inspired by the experience itself that when I was taking notes and I was writing everything down. And as you can tell, when I left, as soon as I left Salt Lake City, I started doing shows everywhere. And everybody was saying, God, Karen, you're everywhere on social media now. And I was like, yeah, because in September, you watch what's going to happen. September, it's going to all come about. All of our dreams that we've been loving for so long are going to be in this new reality. And so it's really exciting. I want to just flip the camera just a little bit to talk about the table of silence and give our audience a little bit of information so that they can know how they can participate tomorrow. It's tomorrow in New York City, right? So let me just flip the camera over here. Okay, we need to go in here. Let's see, I need to go back. Hold on one second, guys. I'm very good at technology, but I have learning curves as everyone else does. So I'm going to close that down here for a sec and try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? So let's see, one more time here. Oh, here we go. I need to be in table of silence, and then I need to come back into here. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here live. I'm seeing all these wonderful faces, all these beautiful people who are from all over the world coming in to see this live. And, this is going to be the excitement of the next 11 days. We have so much good news to share with you. It's going to be absolutely magical. So let's talk a little bit about this wonderful day that's going to kick everything off tomorrow. And let's see how this works. There we go. It's doing it. Yay! I love when
it works.
I love when things work. Yay! Thank you to the gods and the goddesses. All right. So Shaun Parry spent a week searching for survivors at Ground Zero after the attack in 2001, and has been involved with the Table of Silence 9/11 project as a dance supervisor and a performer since its inception in 2011. So the Table of Silence, first of all, I hope I don't butcher this. It's Buglisi. Buglisi, beautiful. Oh, Buglisi, that's beautiful. Now I won't ever say it wrong again.
Buglisi.
the Puglisi Dance Center is offering a 9/11 tribute of Table of Silence project, streaming live and also in the Josie Robertson Plaza in Lincoln Center, New York City, tomorrow morning at 8:15 a.m. Eastern. So the Table of Silence is a cry for peace to the world. Conceived and choreographed by Jacqueline, now I'm going to butcher it again.
Puglisi.
Puglisi, thank you so much, Puglisi. 150 dancers from many different nations, different religions, different walks of life are united in a ritual dance for peace, which accumulates at 8:46 a.m. Eastern when the first plane hit the World Trade Center. With a 1 minute, our bodies, hearts, and souls will reach to the heavens in a sacred silence. We will send out a vibration of goodwill and peace to God and to the universe, that we may start to do things differently. So what a beautiful, beautiful tribute, and what an amazing way for people to really start to become involved in more of the ways that they can be more peaceful in their corner of the world. So what are some of the suggestions that you would say for people who are watching this and who are inspired and who are saying, wait a minute, what can I do? What would you suggest? What are some things maybe in New York City even?
Well, first, if you don't mind, let me just take 1 second to explain a little bit about the project itself.
Oh, please, yes.
Yeah, just because it's a little bit hard to grasp if it hasn't been explained to you, because
thank you.
It's just such an amazing. It's based in ritualistic movement, so it's ancient movements that all have deep symbolic meaning. And every one of the dancers, we've been working for weeks and weeks trying to get everyone just connected and breathing together, 150 people connected, and we create a mandala, as we literally in a human mandala. And for those of you who aren't sure what a mandala is, I know before I started working in the area of spiritualism and talking to swamis and gurus and stuff, I'd hear mandala and I'd be like, what's that? But a mandala is an ancient symbol that is usually concentric circles and often has a gate from on each of the four sides where energy or information or energy can be released or let in, and oftentimes that mandala was used to go into deeper meditation. And so we create literally a human mandala around this living fountain, and so it's so powerful. And these all the symbolism.
How long does it take for you to prepare for something like that? I mean, you must be, because you just got back. I mean, you guys, we're so blessed. He just danced for 4 hours. He was just in a whole rehearsal. And then his sweet soul has come to talk to us so that we can promote this, because his heart and soul is so into what he is so much of a pure soul that really genuinely wants to help these children, wants to help raise awareness, wants to help each of us really start to remember our own magnificence. And he's such a mirror of it. When you watch him dance, you feel so uplifted. When you did your speech, it was so beautiful, the speech that you did at the World Parliament on Spirituality, where you lifted up your nephew, and maybe you could share a little bit of that with our beautiful audience, because it was so touching that everyone is involved, everyone is lifted. And this is another perfect example of that, right? Everyone is touched. Everyone.
Oh my gosh. Every single person is needed. So that our dance wouldn't work if one person was out of line and not participating and giving their drop. in that ocean of dancers, right? And so every single one is so important to be in line and doing their part to make it a success and putting their energy and their intent and bringing that peace. And so it's so beautiful. What Karen's talking about is the one of the keynote addresses that was given, and I was able to. Luckily, I had some family who lives not far from where we were holding the World Parliament of Spirituality, and one of my niece, her name is Dharma, and it's such a perfect name. And as I was trying to figure out how to physically represent lifting all of humanity, I thought, wait a minute. And so what I did, I had Dharma come up, and I had one thread, or it was a thread, it was a piece of fabric. And I put that piece of fabric, I said, can you sit on this, Dharma? And I had her sit on it. And I said, okay, I am by myself going to attempt to lift humanity. And then I lifted with all of my might. And as I lifted, she didn't even get off the ground at all. And the fabric snapped, boom. So by myself, I can't do very much. Yes, one person can make a difference, but with my own energy and my own efforts, not a lot's going to happen in this world unless I collaborate with other people. And then we went on, and I was able to share something very sacred and important to me, because the very first time I went to Kenya was with Promethean Spark, attempting to reach out into the slums and the prisons. I'm working with the Boys Choir of Kenya in that outreach. A war broke out. And so I explained the situation and showed some video footage and such of how I ended up going into the slums and staying there for weeks in hiding while the war raged around us. And during that time, these people took care of me. They gave me food and clothing, and they let me sleep in their beds. And I was able to accomplish what I came for. I went in and taught every single day hours of this life coaching through dance and music. And we created this whole big program right in the middle of a civil war. And my friend, Kelvin Mahasi, was there during that time, was one of the guys who helped me. He's with the Boys Choir of Kenya, and he's one of the guys who helped me to have a place to stay while I was there, and literally saved my life during that time. And he came to the World Parliament of Spirituality representing Kenya. And so then I was able to invite the mother of Dharma up, and her father were there. They came up, and then my her grandmother, my mother, was there, and I had my mom come up, and I had them weave.
The village, right?
Yeah, right. And we had them weave all these different fabrics together, and we created this whole woven fabric, a mini tapestry. And then I had Kelvin come in and join them. And I said, okay. And then after the full speech, then I said, okay, can you guys come over here? And we set that woven fabric down and said, now, Dharma, will you sit on this? And we all gathered around and took our corners and our pieces of fabric and lifted together. And we were able to lift humanity all together. It worked. And it was just such a beautiful thing. And it's so funny because even today, like when I talk to Dharma and I go visit them, she reminds me every time, and her nickname now is Humanity.
It touched me in such a deep way, Shaun, and I think it was one of my favorite speeches because it really, really struck home what I've been talking about all along on all of my shows, that we are all part of the solution, or we are all part of the problem. There's no other choice. We can either be part of the problem or part of the solution.
There's no neutrality.
Yeah, and it's really that simple. And so many people are really starting to wake up and realize that, we are all in this together. We are all really a global family. So maybe you could tell us a little backstory about how this beautiful project got started. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is one big step forward. It's a, you know, I've seen, and I apologize if I get emotional here, but I've seen the dark side so strong, and I've seen war, and I've seen the hatred that people have for each other and the way people treat each other. I've spent months and months, yeah, at this point, years of my life working in leprosy colonies and working in the prisons and slums, and in I just earlier this year spent a few months in sex traffic shelters where these young girls have just been abused so horribly. And luckily they were rescued, but the trauma they've been through and the things that other human beings have done to them, is the atrocities are hideous, like unimaginable. And I've seen this for years, and it's the tendency when we see so much hatred and destruction is to lose hope and to say we're doomed. We are such an awful people. But as I travel around and I see the other side, truly we are at a tipping point where yes, the dark side is strong and it is focused, and they know what they want. They want that war, and they want the debauchery, and it's strong and it's focused on that one thing, and the degradation of the human family. And interestingly enough, the other side, the beauty and the peace and the love and the harmony, so interesting that for so many years we've been saying, if we don't do it there's lots of good people out there, but they're saying, if we don't do it my way, then I'm not going to do it with you.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy? That has been the hardest part for me too, because I've been doing this for 20 years also, Shaun. You know, I've been going into the schools and I've been seeing the dark side of this situation also.
Wow.
It breaks your heart, and it also makes you really realize how blessed we are and how really incredibly important it is to use our voice for the voiceless.
And
Because
exactly, well, and that's what this is. And so
yeah.
what needs to happen now is a collaborative effort to say, let's work together with one common purpose and lift humanity and really make a difference for peace, not just tolerance. Tolerance is one step, absolutely. Let's take that step where it's needed. But we have to go beyond tolerance, because tolerance means that there's still harbored anger or hatred or something. I'm just tolerating what you or your ways. And no. Just because it's different doesn't, and we don't have to embrace all the ways that aren't ours. If you're a Christian, you don't have to embrace Hinduism and become a Hindu. No. Or if you're a Muslim, you don't have to become Christian. That's not the point. But it's not tolerance, it's acceptance and love.
That's kindness, just being kind.
And
so I just want to real quick tell people, don't forget to go to the globalkindnesstv.org/11 for the 11 days of global unity. We the World is partnering with all types of organizations, individuals. Everyone is welcome. You can go to we.net and you can check out the Global Unity Calendar.org, and you can see all the amazing events, including this beautiful event tomorrow that Shaun is sharing about. So it's all about collaboration. It's about really, what was so exciting for me was when this vision got placed in me, I thought, sometimes the angels explain to me, because I'm an angelic messenger, and the angels explain to me that sometimes our dreams, we have to grow into them. They get placed in our heart, and we as humans need to grow into them. And so the vision looks so big, and it really is. The most important part of it is reaching out and asking for help. And that's what humanity is all about. So that's what this dance to me looks like as you speak about a mandala.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what you'll see and what some of the symbolism behind it. Because if you just watch it first, then you're like, what is this? Why are they doing that? What does that mean? What is? So let me just explain just a little bit about what happens is that we have all of these dancers are going to be dressed in white. Everyone dressed in white. And this is representative, obviously, of purity, but also of the equality. Nobody is dressed more grandiose. Nobody is dressed in rags. Everyone is equal in the eyes of God and in the eyes of the spiritually enlightened, right? And we're all brothers and sisters and equal in this way. And as we come onto the plaza, you'll see this mass, basically chaos, improvised chaos of basic movements that represent when 9/11 hit, or it can be any atrocity. Right. But you see movements such as, somebody will come run across and then cover their mouth and reach out and hold that, staring forward, and they'll hold that for a number of seconds before they run to another place and drop to the floor and listen. And just like, so the time that I spent at Ground Zero, we would do that. We would, as I would climb under the rubble, we would have to get everyone quiet above who was clamoring and trying to do the cleanup effort. And when I thought, and this is anyone that was climbing underneath, when I thought maybe somebody was there, I had to call for silence. And I had to call up through the rubble to the people on top, on the ground level, and call out, silence! And they would relay it up until somebody above ground would then call out and yell, silence! And it would spread across 3,000 people.